I wrote this poem my senior year of college, and I don't know that I've managed to write, for me, what feels like a better way to articulate how shitty it is to lose someone. I've experienced an absurd amount of death in my life. Absurd. And so it is with that knowing that I share this, that it's always shitty. Not just like the first death, all the deaths are the shittiest. And there's something about the earliest stages of my learning what it meant to grieve that feels a little more raw than now. I never wanted to have to get used to grieving. And somehow by 34, I did. One of my best friends died in November. And in the most fucked up way, all the other deaths had exercised the grief muscle, which is not something anyone ever wants to have happened. And also, my grieving of her loss is equally raw. And I don't know how to give language to that tension. That I'm both capable of holding myself through the gut-wrenching destruction and also so much more equipped. He'd just bought a pair of shoes. $100 sneakers, shopping bag clad right hand. He walks down Central Street in Highland Park, Illinois, a brand name sidewalk with affluent stores. He knocks on the pharmacy door window for a bag of pretzels and a Gatorade, but they wave him away. It's 4 p.m. on a Sunday, and they're closing up shop. A senior at his high school pulls an illegal U-turn. An elderly man stops short to avoid collision, skids onto the curb, and throws my brother into the side of a store building. His head cracks open, his eyes close shut, and his sneakers fling into the air as his spleen develops cuts. They do brain surgery, put him on respirators. Rabbi Mason prays by his ICU bedside, but he never wakes up. I'm crouched over his bedside, begging him, yelling at him. Josh, wake up. Josh, please wake up. He was only shoe shopping, walking side by side teenage girls that purchase emaciation on a hanger, which is really just a metaphor for shirts sewn in sweatshops by starving children. And studies say that executing killers costs more than keeping them in prison for the rest of their lives, and funeral prices are on the rise. Cremation packages start at $2,000. The average casket is $6,000. $28 a month to purchase an orphan on the internet. $13 for a Japanese picture bride to weed the fields and strip sugarcane. Not too much for a mail order bride. Choose her body shape, her nationality, and her human pedigree. And since this is an unregulated business, I don't have fancy statistics to insert here about how many women are bought by strangers yearly. As we get a price check in aisle 5 to bargain lives, we further judge when they die. My family goes to trial so the killers can pay for our loss and insurance. There's no way to judge, but the judge sits there asking me, how much was his life worth? My 15-year-old brother had $25,000 in savings for selling Beanie Babies at 100 times their cost on an eBay auction block, $650 to purchase an African teen on a southern auction block. How much is a life worth? We purchase human beings from fruitless trees. We consume material and will them to our offspring. We hang child labor on mannequins. We dangle death next to cash registers. We kill children in storefront windows and judge their worth in finances. Even though the only bank in heaven is a locked vault of karma. The only currency in heaven is a set of intangible beliefs. The only worth in heaven can't even be proven. How much is a life worth? He was 15 years old, walking happy on a sidewalk. He was 15 years old, shackled, standing on an auction block. He was 15 years old, starving, sewing in a sweatshop. How much is a life worth? Josh, wake up. Josh, please wake up. How much is your life worth? It's worth waking up daily to face the misery of death's reality. It's worth becoming straight edge, to never miss a single moment of sobriety. It's worth my living breath to overcome death. Josh, you are what my life's worth. Thank you.